Power of Small Habits, How Tiny Changes Lead to Big Success. Part 1, The Struggle of Big Dreams. Emma had always dreamed of a better life. She was like many of us, constantly juggling work, relationships, and her personal aspirations. On the outside, everything seemed fine. But on the inside, Emma often felt like she was falling behind. She felt overwhelmed by the big goals she had set for herself, but struggled to find the motivation and energy to make them a reality. Every morning she would wake up, stare at the pile of tasks she needed to accomplish, and feel her heart sink. There was just so much to do, and Emma didn't know where to start. She had big dreams, but every time she tried to take a step toward them, she would feel like she was taking 2 steps back. One evening, feeling particularly frustrated, she sat down on her couch with a cup of tea. She decided to read a book she had picked up from a local bookstore, one that had been sitting on her shelf for weeks. As she flipped through the pages, she came across a quote that would change her life. Success is built by small, consistent habits. You don't need to make huge changes all at once. Little habits done consistently lead to big results. This simple idea hit Emma hard. She realized that for all these years, she had been trying to accomplish huge things all at once. She had been thinking of success as something that had to happen quickly or all at once. But maybe, just maybe, she was going about it all wrong. Part 2, The First Step Toward Change. That night, Emma made a decision. She would try something different. Instead of focusing on the big picture of success, what her life could look like months or years from now, she would focus on small habits. She knew that big dreams couldn't be achieved overnight. But what if she could change her daily routine, even in tiny ways? The next morning, instead of immediately diving into her to-do list, Emma made a commitment. She would start her day by drinking 1 extra glass of water. It seemed like a small change, but she realized that small changes were much more manageable than trying to completely overhaul her entire life at once. At first, it felt a bit strange. She wasn't used to thinking about how many glasses of water she drank, but she reminded herself that this was just the beginning. Drinking more water was a small habit, but over time, it would add up. Part 3, Building Momentum. A week passed, and Emma stuck with her goal of drinking that extra glass of water each day. It wasn't hard to do, but it felt like an accomplishment. She noticed that she had more energy and felt more awake during the day. Her skin was clearer, and she felt a little bit better about herself. It was nothing life-changing, but it was progress. The next week, Emma decided to add another small habit. She began taking a 10-minute walk after work. She didn't have time for a full workout. Her schedule was packed. But 10 minutes? That was doable. Emma would walk around her neighborhood, clear her mind, and listen to a podcast. It wasn't a huge transformation, but it was a start. The first few days were a little difficult. Emma's mind wandered to all the things she could be doing instead. But she pushed through, telling herself that even if she only walked for 10 minutes, she was still making progress. By the end of the second week, Emma felt stronger and healthier. It wasn't a dramatic change, but she was starting to notice it in the way she felt. Her mood had improved, and she was sleeping better at night. Part 4, The Snowball Effect. As the weeks went on, Emma began to see a pattern. The small habits she had introduced into her life weren't just isolated actions. They were starting to build on each other. Her energy levels were up, her focus was sharper, and she felt more confident. So Emma decided to add another habit. She started waking up 15 minutes earlier to plan her day. It didn't seem like much, but those 15 minutes gave her time to focus, prioritize, and organize her day. No more rushing around trying to figure out what to do first. No more feeling scattered or overwhelmed. She had a sense of control and purpose right from the start of her day. Part 5, Growth and Transformation. By now, Emma had developed a new routine. She was drinking more water, walking every day, waking up earlier, and even starting to meditate for 5 minutes each morning. It wasn't perfect. Some days life got in the way, and she missed a walk or didn't have time for meditation. But instead of feeling discouraged, Emma realized that small setbacks didn't mean failure. She would get back on track the next day, and that's what mattered. As months went by, Emma started to see her life transforming. She wasn't just physically healthier, but mentally she felt stronger and more resilient. Her productivity skyrocketed. She found that the little habits she had built helped her stay focused, work more efficiently, and approach challenges with a positive mindset. Part 6. Bigger Successes Thanks to Small Habits. Around the 6-month mark, Emma had accomplished things she once thought were out of reach. She had been promoted at work, started a side business, and even began helping others by sharing her journey of building small habits. What Emma had learned was that success wasn't just about big actions or sudden breakthroughs. It was about consistency and perseverance. The small habits she had incorporated into her life were now second nature, and each one played a part in her bigger success. Part 7. The Ripple Effect. The power of small habits didn't just affect Emma's personal life, it rippled into other areas of her life too. She was more confident in her relationships, more present with her family, and even had the courage to pursue her bigger dreams. As Emma continued to grow and thrive, she realized that success wasn't an event, it was a journey. And the journey was made up of tiny, consistent steps. Moral of the story: success doesn't come from huge leaps or overnight transformations. It's built by small, consistent habits. Start with small actions today, and they will lead to bigger results over time. Believe in the power of tiny changes and watch as they transform your life. Call to action. If you're ready to start building your own path to success, begin with small habits today. Subscribe to our channel for more tips on how tiny changes can lead to huge transformations. Join us and let's achieve greatness together.